Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here with Adam, and this is your weekly fishing report. A lot of good stuff here the past week or so. We saw a good bite of, the migratory fish once again in the Middle Bay area. A lot of good sized fish right before the weekend. Fish up to, 48 inches that I've seen out there, maybe even some bigger ones out there. A lot of guys are still throwing your 7-inch profile baits like these Bustin' baits. Colors, obviously try a couple different ones, but chartreuse, pink, white are the main ones. 1 ounce to 1.5 ounce jigs. Make sure you get to the bottom. A lot of those fish were stuck to the bottom and maybe coming off 10, 15 feet off the bottom, but get it down quick. So just between like 1 and 1.5, maybe 2s if the current gets a little stronger. But if you're going to go out there this upcoming days, I know we got a couple windows to get out. Wind was obviously a problem. Now it's going to be one of those things where you might want to search a little bit farther north. I would say mouth of Eastern Bay, Poplar Island, down to Chesapeake Beach might still be one of those areas where not a lot of guys were searching, but I think those fish are moving up, and that might be one area to check out. I know you've been doing some other stuff with some of the creeks. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so if especially with some of this crazy windy weather we've been having, if you can't get out on the bay and you want to get into the creeks, there's a couple options you got going on for you right now. Pickerel are still feeding pretty heavily. As we get colder, you may want to downsize your baits and slow down your presentation a little bit, but still target structure like docks, weed lines, rocky points, things like that, still in shallow water. Something that you can throw if you want to downsize your bait are these little ultralight shads. Pretty much just looks like a little mud minnow out there, and you may tie into some perch as well, some white perch and some yellow perch if you're pickerel fishing. In terms of some other stuff you can do in the creeks, perch and crappie as well. Good thing to do for them if you want to go artificial this time of year is going to be your float and fly method. Basically that just entails, a little artificial tiny little jig like this on a leader behind a bobber. Give it a couple twitches, almost like a popping cork, but you work it much slower. Same thing as the pickerel, target your structure. You could try little ledges and drop-offs too, but the creeks should be pretty active right now as far as winter goes.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the spots you might want to go out for that is make the drive over to the Eastern Shore, where there's a lot more shoreline access. Tuckahoe Creek is one of them. The Chop Tank, Upper Chop Tank down in Greensboro. It's going to be two of those areas where you can, get out and shore fish for those species there. What else is going on?
Yeah, so, don't want to forget about those blue catfish. I know we haven't been talking about them too much recently, but especially this time of year, if you're looking to fill the cooler, get some meat, because, we can't harvest those rockfish, you could go after your blue cats. Deep holes, ledges, they're going to be stacked up this time of year, again, especially as it gets colder, but they're still going to be actively feeding. Great way to just go out, chill, hang out and fish. If you come get some of our Pro Live Line chunking rigs, they're pretty much all ready for you to go. You just slide the sinker slide on your main line, clip a weight on there, grab some frozen LY and cast it out for some catfish.
Yeah, and remember guys, we'll say most of your bite for those catfish will be targeting some of the other rivers around the area, not necessarily even the main bay right now. But if you're going to the Patuxent River, anywhere on the lower Patuxent around Jug Bay, there's plenty of parks there where you can go. There's areas in the Potomac, and of course on the Eastern Shore, I will say almost every river up there will have them. Of course, there's some places that might have bigger ones than others, but every single one of them is going to have a good access point from the shoreline, and even boats and kayaks. So get out there and try that out. I think that's it for your fishing report, guys. We'll see you back next week.